this.
Okay.
That's it.
Perfect.
Awesome. Okay. So, you're a really hard person to meet with. You're so
Really?
busy.
Says you.
Oh, well, yeah. But you've been planning to do this for some time now.
Yeah, quite a while.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you just, you are involved in so many things. And then you're evolving, this is your thing, isn't it? The main thing, or running sites?
So that's my kind of project business, run the sites. But it's kind of got there from, I've been led there from different things. So it's a kind of culmination of my main passion, which is running, and co-founding a dog running club, Cani-Sports Edinburgh. So that was over 5 years ago.
So what was first? So you do Canicross and you do run and sites, and then you run on your own.
Yeah.
So what's the main important thing for you?
Just to get out and run and share it with people. That's I suppose that's where the business and starting Canicross Edinburgh came into play. So I suppose I started running when I was, 12. Literally running through fields to feed horses. That was why I started running.
Running through the fields.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and from there, I then ended up doing a bit of cross-country running at school. And totally unbeknown to me and unbeknown to the PE department, I could run. And I managed to win.
Get it closer.
And I managed to win a couple of the cross-countries at school. And just didn't look back. I just really enjoyed running, so I kept it up. And this is where we met first time, isn't it? You winning all the time. It's again the same story. Like last time I met with Owen, and he won the Fox Lake tour, and then it was you who won it as well. So you are second person, and we're in the same park with Owen. We've been just around there. True. Yeah, no, that was a great series, the Fox Trail Winter Running Series. I've been doing them from the start. And to be honest with you, I had some good runs. It all depends on who turns up on the day. There's some great talent out there. I imagine there's going to be even more talent next year.
Probably.
So the pressure's on. But I just love trails. So it's hard work, and I give it my all out there. So sometimes I'm very lucky, though.
So what's the difference between running trails and running on the tarmac?
For me, it's a mental thing and an enjoyment thing. But for me, I just like my running is where I go. So I go off into the country, I go off into the hills, and I really enjoy that. Whereas the road, you're normally in a city or on a road with traffic passing you by. So for me, it's a mental thing. But also, I suppose I like to bounce around over tree roots, over rocks. I like technical terrain. And so I'm not thinking about it. My head, that's my meditation. My head's concentrating on my footfall. I don't feel the pain in my legs. I'm literally bouncing. It's like a child bouncing and playing.
Do you train a lot?
Not as much as I should, and probably not as much as people think. I don't even see it as training. I just go out for a run. So
you're just going for a run. There is no plan.
No.
There was never plan, or you just there's no.
No.
Oh.
And there should be. I know. I'm actually really embarrassed to say that.
So there's so much room.
There's a lot, and I've got a few little targets. So I need to. Yesterday was the start of my training plan, actually, for next year's Highland Fling. Is it
this is the first training you ever do? Or, I suppose when you ran the cross country at school and stuff, you did it. You had some plan, or there was just coach who was telling you what to do.
No, I just did it myself. Okay. So I just kind of, in its simplest format, running is putting one foot in front of the other. I've had work done on my form with Improve My Running with Matt Holland, which was really, really helpful. It's helped me stay injury free.
He's the guy I need to see as well.
Oh, he's brilliant.
Yeah. You told me about him before, so I think I got in touch with him, but it's another thing.
Trying to tie him down as well.
and myself and him in the same time. It's kind of hard.
Yeah.
But.
So I think for me, if I try and stick with a training plan, it doesn't always work, and I have to enjoy it. If I take things too seriously, I stop enjoying it, and then I wonder why I'm doing it. So I am going to try and do some sort of training plan for next year's Highland Fling, and I'm worried that I'm going to end up taking it too seriously. So hopefully I'll still.
Can you meet somewhere in the middle? Like
I think so.
Having a plan, but also just enjoying things and.
Yeah, and I think that's important. I don't want to get to the later stages of my life and wonder what I could have been capable of. So I want to try and push myself now.
I can see that running with the plan, you can really overtrain yourself very quickly.
Yeah.
Has it happened before, or it's?
For me, I don't think I've necessarily overtrained. I think I've got myself very tired. I've had shingles before, but I think that's more from living a very full life and doing endurance training. If I didn't have much else in my life and I just ran, it could have been okay. But trying to fit probably two people's lifestyles into one person's lifestyle can get quite full on. But similarly, I don't care much for TV. I can miss TV. I don't like going shopping. So for me, my peace and quiet and how I relax at the end of the day is going for a nice trail run. So I think I don't see that as a chore. So coming back to the running form, what you learned do you still you are really good and you can still improve, isn't it? And so you improved. So what math is it? Math? Yeah. So what math found in your technique? I needed to increase my cadence. I was overstriding, so my feet placement was ahead of my body, which is a constant brake. So kind of hitting the heel. Yeah, and it was a constant braking motion on my body. I was, instead of using my arms forward and backward, I was swinging my shoulders, and my arms I've got quite long arms. My arms get in the way. They're like chicken wings. So I needed to use my arms more efficiently. I needed to... Was moving more through your shoulders and pushing the elbows back? Or? Yeah, so bringing my arms up to here, up to my body instead of letting them dangle like loose limbs and bringing them up, holding them properly, and not necessarily driving them because that could get quite tiring, but using them almost as a metronome effect. That then helped shorten my stride, helped bring my feet below my body so I wasn't braking. And then once I had that, I would try to increase the cadence. I would try and have a circling motion with my legs, and bringing the heels up higher so my legs were rotating. So it was a smooth rhythmic motion instead of a jarring braking So what's effect. Your cadence now? I'm trying to get my cadence up as well. I don't know. You don't know. You don't measure it at all. Do you use any watch? Or? So I don't have one on just now. I ran here. Again, you'll cringe at this. I quite like to run what I call naked without my watch. So if I have to do a set distance, if I need, my training, I will do set distances, and then I'll wear my watch. I like to know my pace, but I never upload it to anything. I don't do Strava. I don't keep a record of all my times because for me, I would obsess over it. And so I quite like to listen to my body a bit more, and I quite like to not have to obsess over the figures. It's like, it seems you've got amazing ability of listening to your body and knowing what is good for you, and it's and then being able to run far enough to get some effect of it or not, you know what I mean? For me I uploading this everywhere, and then this keeps me motivated. Because I can see how I'm improving over the time. I think it would motivate me, but I would worry I would become obsessed with it. You're kind of obsessed already, so does it really matter, isn't it? But I would become obsessed. I need to check one thing. Okay. Sorry. He's back. Okay, I'm back. I think I would become obsessed with the figures instead of just obsessed with the running. So now I would rather spend all the time running and hitting the trails instead of looking at computers and Strava and competition and things like that afterwards and beating myself up that I was too slow or I didn't go far enough, or I would be very cruel to myself, I think, if I was to look at figures. So instead I can live in ignorance and blissfully unaware. But it's probably because your running is all your life, and you've got this experience. Like for people, like for me, I started just doing the endurance things for the last 2 years, and then I don't really know how much is enough, and then I don't feel it yet. So, well, one thing I would say, and this is something I sometimes find frustrated with myself, and maybe I need to take a leaf out of your book, is, yes, I've been running a long time, but I've never seen an amazing improvement in myself. I had a 45-minute PB between my first and second Highland Fling, which there's a few things I can put it down to, but in general, I don't see an awful lot of improvement. All people around me, I see them improving left, right and centre, and it's brilliant. Whereas I kind of started quite well as a youngster, and I've just plateaued and do consistently okay. So I can't complain.
Could you explain the Highland Fling for us? I know what's that, but some of these guys might don't know.
So the Highland Fling is Scotland's biggest ultramarathon. It's 53 miles along the West Highland Way, starting at Mulgai, finishing at Tyndrum. And it's actually just been this weekend, so the 2017 Highland Fling.
And you've been volunteering that?
I marshalled that one. I decided probably about a month ago that best not race because I hadn't done the distance in training. So the first time I did it, I got 10 hours, 2 minutes and 45 seconds. And I was a bit I wanted sub 11. So I should have been happy, but then I was so close to sub 10 that I was so disappointed. And then last year, bizarrely, with less training, but more focus on form and more focus on nutrition, I managed 9 hours and 18 minutes.
Well done.
So I was delighted. So next year, I want under 9 hours.
So you definitely need a plan.
Yes.
And you definitely need to start running with the watch and paying a little bit more attention.
You're right.
Not that I'm saying from experience.
No, you're right. I do. I need to now up my game a bit, I think. So, yeah. I want to see some improvements within myself now and get off the plateau that I'm on.
You definitely say it. Do you do any, and I'm always asking, because runners are like, my background is I've done so many sports and I was doing different things all the time. So the strength training was always there. Do you do any strength training? Or
I do. I was doing quite a bit and I need to up it again. So I normally do 3 mornings a week. So I'd like to do a wee bit more. And I do also want to introduce one evening of yoga because I'm getting older. I had back trouble a few weeks ago. And I need to keep that suppleness now.
I'm actually impressed because you are probably the first runner who is good runner and then who does something.
Okay.
Like that because everyone's like, no, I'm just running and we'll see how it goes, how long I can run. And it seems that you've got a little bit better idea. So with strength training, you're going to run a little bit longer.
I think the strength training was one of the secrets between my 45-minute PB with the Highland Fling. So when I went from 10 hours, 2 minutes to 9 hours, 18 minutes, I think a lot of that was down to strength. So I was doing the difference between the two, like I say, was running form, better nutrition, and I was doing strength training for the 9 hours.
So what kind of strength training would you recommend? What you did?
Every morning I do, most mornings, I try and do kind of 20 minutes of plank, squats, bit of upper body stuff, bit of stretching, various kind of stomach exercises, lunges, walking lunges, dips.
Any weights or just body weight?
I normally just body weight. I do have a kettlebell, but I feel I lack the expertise to use it, and I'm speaking to a kettlebell expert.
You know where to find me.
I know. I know, and I would be there every evening if it wasn't so far away from home, and it's really difficult.
But you can do this at home as well. The beauty of the kettlebell is you can use it anywhere, and you don't necessarily. And if you are motivated enough, I'm running the classes there, but it's just to motivate people, and they finding that it's easier for them to push themselves a little bit further. But all my training I do on my own. Because I can find motivation in myself. So I think you would be fine.
I think, Grant did a session, who works with you, did a session for us for the Cani-Sports Edinburgh group. And that taught me a few tricks. So I went and bought my kettlebell and it's a great doorstop. But actually I was thinking today I'm going to put it into, because I'm going to kind of write down a few exercises for the morning going forward for my new training plan, and it will include a couple of kettlebell things. So we've got the strength training sorted. The nutrition wise, what you eat when you run in 9 hours? Okay, so I'm potentially abnormal in that.
I think we already established that.
Right. So about a year and a half ago, I went vegan.
Mm-hmm.
So what I eat probably isn't necessarily standard to what other folk would.
Does it work for you?
It works really well for me.
Perfect.
Yeah, it works for me. So let's take my 9-hour, 18-minute fling time, and my drop bags all had, I did a kind of soy, avocado and banana milkshake.
Uh-huh.
So I'd whiz that up and I'd have bottles of that at the points. Any sort of salty crisps that I could take in that were also vegan friendly. Lots of bananas, lots of nuts, dried fruit. What else would I take? Gels that I could take. During a race, I struggle to stomach much food.
Mm-hmm.
Training, I can eat anything, but during a race, I really struggle with my stomach. So, although gels are disgusting, I do kind of rely on them because they can go in and they can go down quite easily. So,
yeah, I'm trying to find my way of doing this.
Yeah.
For this season, I cannot. Last year I did gels.
Yeah.
But it's just horrendous.
They're disgusting, and your teeth feel horrible, and they're not great. But I think they work for me for a race. Out with the race and before and after, like peanut butter sandwiches, lots of pasta, chia seed things, lots of like I'll eat lots of nuts and fruit and veg and just anything I can get my hands on.
Find any improvement on vegan diet or dips in your performance, or does everything stayed the same basically?
So again, I saw a big improvement, but I don't know if the difference was due to working on my form, working on strength, mm-hmm. and the diet. So those were the three key things that I changed between 2015 Highland Fling and 2016 mm-hmm. Highland Fling when I saw the 45-minute improvement.
Yeah,
I trained less, ate vegan, worked on strength and worked on form. And that seemed to, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Perfect. So good luck with the. So you're gonna train for a whole year, or how?
I think I'm going to, with the ultimate aim to be a sub-9, ideally sub-8:45 Highland Fling. I'm putting it out there, which makes it really. Ooh. I know. I'm putting it out there. I normally hold my cards quite close to my chest if I want a certain time, because I then feel foolish if I don't get it.
Mm-hmm. It's good to have a goal, you know,
yeah.
And then high goal, which is, I would even say, just go crazier.
Yeah,
you know? And it's good to have it. Like I'm trying to always have like 3 goals.
Okay.
So for my Ironman, which I do now, this is the second one, and I want to be obviously faster than last time.
Yes.
So it's like I want to do under 12 hours.
Yeah.
And then if I do this, I will be happy.
Yeah.
But then there's another goal which is a little bit higher, and there's one stupid one which I don't.
On a good day, you never know.
On a good day, yeah, maybe. So,
yeah.
You know, I've got 3 goals. So if I manage to hit the first one, I'm already happy.
Yeah.
But then I can have another one, which is.
I agree with that. I do a platinum, gold, and silver for a race.
That's it. That's it.
So you have your dream kind of pie in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be great if I could get this time? So, and then the normal ones just finish.
And I'm finding that it's easier to get something in between when you go really high, when you kind of be thinking, oh, shit, no chance. And suddenly you are doing something maybe a little bit slower, but still really, really good.
And I think ultimately with these kind of races, with Ironman, with ultramarathons, finishing is an achievement.
Oh, yeah.
It shouldn't matter how long. Everyone's got their own individual personal goals.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot say what is a good time, full stop. It's down to the individual. So a certain time I'd be delighted with, someone else would be gutted to have, and then a time that I would be gutted to have, someone else would be delighted with. And it's all, you've got to respect the individual and what they personally can achieve.
I had the conversation with my wife today about this, that the first time in my life, I'm kind of 30, quite old, 35. And I was hoping all my life that I would be the best in something. And I never said this to anyone, but I play handball and I thought I'm going to be world champion, basically. And then I play squash and I thought I'm going to be Polish champion, at least. And I trained hard for this achievement. And then I did kettlebells for a long time. And I thought I've got the shot on this and I would be great. And then the endurance sport, because I was always really bad at them.
Okay.
I really finding pleasure or just training for them and just doing this. And I know I go into the events and I know I have no chance whatsoever to be, I can be just better the next time, but I will never win. So it's not in my head and it's so nice. It's amazing.
I think the endurance sport is so much about the journey because you're out there training so much, and the places I go to and train, I really, really love the journey.
Yes.
And the race itself, sometimes I run because I love to run. I don't run to race, but I have to put the races in there because it's a nice personal challenge. That's great atmosphere. It's good fun. And I like to challenge myself.
And this push you a little bit.
Yeah. But I think for these kind of sports, Ironman, ultramarathons, again, long distance, anything else, it's very much personal goals. So finishing it, you are winning. You are the best of you. If you give it the best you possibly can, and you can never be disappointed with that.
And it's obviously, you are much more experienced than I am, but it's always during the race, you've got something that I'm going to quit right now. Do you have it?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, all the time. That's it.
I think I've got a degree in psychology with sports science. So I use mantras, I use thought stopping, I use positive thinking. It is a battle of kind of the mind, the negativity sometimes that creeps in when you're struggling out there, when it's maybe adverse weather, your legs hurt, it's not going well. It's horrible to then do that kind of distance. You go through such a battle and so many highs and lows when you're running that distance. So it's a battle with yourself.
So what's your best tip for overcoming those things? For someone who is going for a run.
Yeah, so
and finding this,
you need to love it. You need to know why you do it. You need to know how to love it. You can't just go off and think, I want to run and try and do it. You've got to fall head over heels in love with running. So
how to become the person who loves running?
Yeah.
How you do it? What's your secret?
You need to appreciate that you can run. So my mantra that I made up is I run because I can. So I can go and run. I run because I'm healthy. So I appreciate the fact that I have health good enough that allows me to go running. There's plenty of people stuck in hospitals or, at home who don't have the health to go out and run. I run because I'm able. So again, I'm able-bodied. I can go out for a run.
That's superb.
And I'm free. So I've got the freedom in this country, in this society, to just put my trainers on and go for a run.
I can see really nice t-shirt.
So I run because I can. I run because I'm healthy, able, and free. So I keep reiterating that to myself. And so I appreciate the running. I appreciate the beauty around me. And that's how I fall in love with it. So as opposed to thinking, when's this over? My legs are sore. I then think, well, someone in hospital would love to feel the pain in their legs and be able to run. So instead of it being a negative thing to me, I'm grateful that I've got pain in my legs because my legs are moving. Does that make sense?
Of course. It's amazing way of. I never hear better explanation of it. There are people who are thinking about goals and trying to go faster, but you go in completely different route. It's more about loving running than anything else.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people can use it. I think I will try to use it because it just puts your pain in this moment in very different perspective.
Yeah. So each thing, like you might be out on the bike and you're 30 miles down the coast and you've got a horrible headwind and the rain sets in, that's got to be miserable for you, right? But if you think, oh, this is horrible, gosh, this is really, really bad. And then you think, well, hang on a sec, there's someone, again, if we go back into the hospital scenario or someone in a refugee camp who would love that freedom to have that rain and the wind in their face. It makes you actually appreciate it. I'm gonna have to use it more often now. That's beautiful. Okay, coming back to your businesses. All your businesses. So you've got the Run the Sites. What you do with Run the Sites? So Run the Sites does running tours. So it's like a walking tour or a bus tour, but we run. We launched maybe 2 years ago. And you're doing a great job because it's not only Edinburgh now, isn't it? Yeah, so it's Edinburgh, Glasgow and Dundee. So I scooped up two friends and runners who I really admire, Elaine Omond, who does Dundee, and Elspeth Luke, now Elspeth Berry, who does Glasgow. Very amazing, inspirational people and runners. So I kind of scooped them up and we've kind of spread the running tour word. And it's growing worldwide. Running tours throughout the world are becoming huge. There's other organisations in Edinburgh. It's really nice to see it spread out and just see people look to explore on the run instead of on a bus or instead of walking. So it's really nice for the wellness is a big thing these days. So it's really nice to see people keeping active whilst being a tourist.
Yeah, and it's amazing way. We're always doing this with Joanna. When we're going somewhere to some other city, the first thing we put the shoes on and we go for a run around the block
and explore.
Explore. And it's you see things which you would never see.
Yeah, exactly. Cute. Exactly. And we're not fitness trainers, we're all qualified run leaders. We're all first aid trained, and we all have done a lot of research into our areas. So we take people to places and explain a bit of history, the relevance, a bit of culture. So folk do actually learn stuff on the running tour. It's not just a group run. So we go to various places, point things out. Their pace, if it's a private tour or it's a social group tour.
Are you setting up the pace before you're telling what you need to do?
At the moment, no. If it's a private tour, it's just down to the individual. There's no time restrictions. And if it's a group tour and it's people who know each other, they know that they're kind of restricted by each other, and it's a sociable thing. It's if they want to go off a certain pace, that's a training run.
So if someone listening to it, this is quite shouting. The website is Run the Sites?
Yeah, just runthesite.co.uk.
And you can find the places, how to book in, and everything is there.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, right, next to the next one. So, Lan, she's coming to the club as well. But she's really involved in running with dogs, isn't it? And you call it this Canicross, and it's getting quite popular.
Oh, it's become huge.
And you started it in Edinburgh.
I co-founded Cani-Sports Edinburgh.
How many years ago?
Possibly 5.5 years ago. So it started as a social group, myself and a friend, Vivian Brack. We had been doing Canicross running with the dogs ourselves throughout Scotland. That shouldn't be in Pilvick Park.
I think this is like someone... Oh, look at this guy. I think the bike... I think it's kind of stolen bike because he's not wearing helmet.
Yeah.
Jesus.
He's away. Yeah, anyway.
He's away. Okay. Right.
Edinburgh is a safe place to be, by the way.
Yeah, of course it is. I've never seen this before. Okay. Back to the... It's good that he never snatched our camera.
I couldn't have run fast enough for that.
We've been thinking about it, that someone might do it, but this would be too fast for us. Okay, back to the Canicross.
So it started off really, the history of Canicross is a way for mushers, so sled dog runners, to exercise their dogs in the summer months when there's no snow. So people would attach themselves to their dogs and would run with them. So it's not on road for various health reasons for the dogs and for the dog's own comfort. So it's on trails and nice terrain.
Is it like the Scandinavian sport or not necessarily?
Yeah, that's where it originated from. Yeah. And it hit the UK well over 10 years ago. There were lots of races down south. Then it came up to Scotland. There's quite a few influential people, Karen Connell and Lindsay Johnston, who put a lot of work into Canicross. And then myself and Viv started up Canicross Edinburgh, started as a social group, and after I think about 2 years we developed it into a formal club. And your Lan was at the very first run at Dalkeith Country Park, and certainly for our club it was way more popular than we ever anticipated. So I think people realised that they could keep fit, they could exercise their dog, they could have a sociable time, and it was all in a very safe environment. So for people who had maybe dogs with special needs, who are reactive, who are anxious, they were secure because all dogs were on a line. So with the specialist equipment that we use, all dogs aren't mingling and running everywhere. It's not chaotic. Dogs are under the close control of their owners. But the beauty of Canicross, it's a completely different sport to just running. So the dogs wear a harness, person wears a belt, and then you're connected with a line with a bungee in it, and the dog's actually taught to pull you. So it's like you're kind of wakeboarding behind a dog.
You're a bit faster, isn't it? Because
yes.
You always, when on the races in Fox Lake, you start like later.
Yeah.
There's always someone with the dog, and this guy's going crazy fast.
Well, my strong dog Zach will take about 3 minutes off my 5K time if I run.
5K time.
Yeah.
This must be so good for your speed leg as well, and then as a training tool, isn't it?
Well, funny you should say that. The year I was doing a lot of Canicross, I was also training for the Ultra, and I was a bit concerned that my runs with doing Canicross that were assisted by dog power wouldn't facilitate or wouldn't contribute to my training for the Ultra. But it really helped me in terms of I had to increase my cadence. I had to take shorter strides, otherwise I'd be in agony. I learned to run with better form in conjunction with the improve my running sessions I was having. And it actually contributed a lot to my training. Imagine. Yeah,
this is like the form of training normally you do. Like in the pool, for example, you can be on the bungee rope. The same sprinters do the same thing when someone pulls them on the bungee. So
I guess it's not resistance training because you're going with it. So you're getting pulled, but you're...
But it's like overspeeding, which then your normal speed becomes easy because you can run faster than that.
I don't know if there's ever been a scientific study behind it, but I would be interested because I do think Canicross has helped my normal running. Definitely.
So is any dog is good for it? Or
as long as the dog's fit and healthy, is fully developed, so it's not still its bones need to be fully developed. So small dogs, you're looking at about a year. Some bigger bone dogs, maybe give it a year and a half. Some dogs take to it better than others, which is fine.
One which would just wouldn't be good.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Really?
There was a Yorkie that passed earlier. We've got a Yorkie in the club. One of the ladies runs with a Yorkie in little Ricky Jim, and he speeds it along.
No way.
Yeah.
And you can get any pull of this dog?
He'll pull a little bit. He obviously, with his strength and his weight, he's not going to be as good as my 29 kg German pointer.
Yeah.
But the key thing is he enjoys it. So for us, it's a sociable club. Cani-Sports Edinburgh is a sociable club. It's fun. It encourages people to run to their own ability and their dog's own ability.
And you guys huge now. How many members you've got at this moment?
So there's over 100 members. So I've got to give the committee credit. I was chair for 2 years, and then I stood down last year, just to let the club develop itself a little bit without me controlling it too much. But I'm still involved in it. I'm just not part of the organising committee now. But the committee are going from strength to strength, and there's well over 100 members. And then on the Facebook group, here comes another bike.
This is the same bike.
No, I think it's a different one.
But I think it's the same. No, it's exact
SM10 Whiskey Charlie Victor.
What you do in a situation like that? We don't have to record it.
You can't really do much because the police aren't allowed to give chase because of the motorbike. Because if they crash, due to a police pursuit and die, it's the police's fault.
So they cannot shoot them even. I would shoot them. If this were my bike, I would shoot them.
We need to keep that in. That you would shoot them.
No, because I own bike. I own the bike, and I know a lot of bikes being stolen in Edinburgh, and I'm a little bit pissed off because of that. Sorry, this is my thing, because it's like, police cannot stop them, and they just run around like that. And then obviously if they just follow them or something, there must be a better way of doing this.
Yeah, there must be.
But it's just calm down. Let's go back to the dogs.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway.
No, I think I was giving credit to the Cani-Sports Edinburgh committee now that they're working very hard. They do an annual race. There's Canifit races in Scotland, which is Canicross races. There's Cani-Sports Scotland races. There's the Sled Dog Association races. So as well as all the social runs, it's a big community.
I was watching amazing a documentary about. There's a Banshee festival. Was it Banshee? There's a film festival. We went couple of months ago. I think it's called Banshee Mountain Festival.
Okay.
And we watched a documentary about the Canicross. It wasn't Canicross as such because they had different things. So they had this, the guys been running on the ski.
Yes, they had ski jaw,
and then they had the other like kind of buggies and stuff, and they had the world championship somewhere. It was on the snow, obviously, and it's amazing. Is it something you do as well, or have you ever done?
I used to have a scooter for Zach, which is my big dog, which is great fun, but I ended up having to sell that, and I've done the bike jaw, which is when you're on a mountain bike. So that's great fun, but I guess I just like the running aspect. So yes, you can go faster and it's more exhilarating sometimes on the bike or on the scooter, but I like to run. So,
and how you deal? I'm always intrigued by, the dog goes straight and the dog never goes to the woods just to discover what you do. Because it's all right when the dog goes straight, but it dog decided to chase some crazy animal.
Oh, that happens.
Okay.
So if a squirrel runs out in front of my dogs, they'll try and go for the squirrel. I guess, so like you train your dog to sit, to stay, to maybe give you high five, give you their paw, like you train your dog, you train them for Canicross. So there's commands and techniques to make them slow down, to make them speed up, to turn left, to turn right. So you're giving your dog the commands. A lot of the time the dogs know when they're in harness, they're working. So they're so focused, tunnel visioned on going ahead that they're not sniffing around.
So they're just going straight ahead.
But I guarantee, I don't know many dogs that if
Talking about the dogs?
I know. I don't know many dogs that if a deer or a rabbit or squirrel ran out in front of them that they wouldn't lunge for it. So that would definitely put my dogs off. But that's part of the fun, I guess.
So your love to dogs been always there, or you developed it?
I had dogs as a child. Jasper's coming up for 7. She's my Hungarian Vizsla. And I did a lot of research. I tried to get a rescue dog, but with the circumstances that I was in, all the rescue homes I went to wanted to give me a very old dog that I couldn't do any activity with. So I was kind of forced to go and hand picking what I wanted. So the research led me to a Hungarian Vizsla because they're endurance dogs and they can keep going.
Okay.
So she does a lot of my ultra training with me. She's a very, very fit dog. She's got muscles upon muscles now. And then Zach, my German pointer, who is a rescue dog, who came along 2 years after Jasper, he's a sprinter. So he's the strong Canicross dog.
Okay, so you've got 2 dogs for 2 different things.
Yeah.
2 great companions, which
definitely.
Always want to. Can you take them both?
I can. Zach, I maybe shouldn't say what his nickname is because it's not very polite. So he can't be, Zach the Dick.
Zach the Dick. Okay.
He can't be off lead in as many places as Jasper can be. Jasper, I can turn my back on and she's perfect. Zach's got a lot of personality, shall we say, and he's very
big dick, obviously, for chasing others.
Anyway. So as long as they can both come, as long as I'm somewhere safe that Zach can be off lead or Zach's on his harness. So it's
you see our amazing idea of people crossing in front of us and making this nice background. It's not happening. Everyone's just going around.
People are being very respectful, except for the bikes.
Next time I'm gonna, if they go here, can I do it? Can I just throw the mic at them? Yeah. Or we can just do the line kind of thing and just heads off.
I quite like your thinking.
Right. Okay, where have we been? We are. That's good. It's 40 minutes good of talking, which is amazing. Right. There is a thing when people watching. I'm trying to make it very useful for people who obviously you are really good in running, and then we talk about a lot. Different things about the running. How do you know how to make people start running? Like if someone want to, I always ask this question, what's the best way of starting running? I'm not talking about the endurance running, like long distances, but something, someone never done anything before. and they want to start running, what's the best way?
You've just got to start small. I think people are so intimidated by going out for 5 kilometers. Go out for 5 minutes and build it up and build it up. Go out for 5 minutes, even if you walk 4 minutes of that and run 1 minute. And it's just building it up really slowly. I think a lot of people also make the mistakenly think that, for instance, at a race, I find it easy. I run as I'm in as much pain and anguish as the person who maybe comes last. I feel their pain as much as they feel my pain, and they think it's easy if you're slightly faster. It's not. It doesn't necessarily get any easier.
Yeah,
but your pain threshold and in your levels of fitness just get pushed back a little bit. But to start off, you need to just start really bite-sized pieces. Put your trainers on for 5 minutes and go out. And once you get it into a habit, you need to make a habit, and you need to make time and get rid of all the excuses. Don't say, I can't because of this, or I can't because of that. That doesn't wash. There's 2 5 o'clocks in the day. So go out in the morning.
That's good. So it's basically habit is most important.
Definitely.
And then what to do when you start getting these excuses? When you think, I'm tired today, and maybe I go tomorrow, and then next day, and then they stop after 2 weeks because it's too hard.
I guess it depends on your own individual goals. If someone is wanting to lose weight, then they need to be strict with themselves. If someone wants to get fit, you've got to want to do it yourself. If they're going to make excuses, then they need to think, well, do I need to get a personal trainer? Do I need to go to classes? What motivates an individual? Can they motivate themselves? If they can, then great. If they need to go to classes, even with a friend, then that's what they need to do. But they need to recognize the excuse, and they need to stop it. But we said before, they need to enjoy it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If it's too much of a task, maybe find something that they enjoy.
You start enjoying, and then this.
Yeah.
But there will be always moment. I'm keep saying this, that there's always moment. Even like for me, I've got 50% of my trainings the first couple of minutes, or just before going out, I'm thinking, maybe no.
I'm the same.
You getting this as
definitely.
well? There we go.
There's plenty of times I cannot be bothered to go for a run, and I don't want to go for a run. But if I've got a goal
and what's you do in these moments? Because there must be some specific thing that you're thinking, I've got this, I will do it.
A lot of my I have to take the dogs out. So that's easy. That's easy. If I don't have to take the dogs out, I've got a golden rule, which I think is quite common in the running community, that you go out for 10 minutes. If you still don't want to run, or you still don't feel good, that's fine. You can go home, guilt-free. But guarantee, once you're out there, you've got your running trainers on, you've got your gear on, you've started running, the whole thought process of actually getting out there is over. I guarantee you'll stay out running.
And you'll stay. I'm doing this all the time as well.
Yeah.
Very similar pattern.
Yeah.
And then it's always working.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking like, I'm out now.
Yeah.
I just go.
The hardest thing is getting started. For anyone, if someone wants to start running, once they just go out for the first session and make it a habit, they're sorted. The hardest thing is getting started. So it's like any new habit or any new positive thing to do. It's just getting started.
No one would cross.
I know.
Anyway, I know you are kind of busy person, and I'm kind of busy because I'm about to start my session very, very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
So I have to finish, and it was a really pleasure. Thank you very much for making your time.
Sorry.
I hope we'll help at least one person.
Yeah, I hope so.
We'll push one person out there running, and then, and everyone knows the name of your dog now.
Sorry, Zach.
Oh, poor Zach. I need to get his picture. Can you send me a picture?
I will do.
So what I do, as always, I will put your websites on the page.
Cool.
So people can get in touch with you. Is it the best way for the websites or?
Yeah, the website, social media, and it'd be really cool to give Cani-Sports Edinburgh a wee shout out as well.
This is what we do as well. And
that'd be really cool. So the run sites, Cani-Sports Edinburgh, any kind of bits and bobs of running, or if anyone's got any questions, and that's more than happy to help.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.